Hi, my name is Rachel and welcome to Laser and Learn. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of focusing on laser-oriented things, we are going to focus on where you can sell any of your handmade items online. Now, this doesn't matter if you sell cutting boards, tumblers, painted gnomes, leatherwork, or even more different things. You can sell your products online in tons of different ways. So we'll talk a little bit about the pros and cons of each of these different platforms. So stay tuned because we're going to be talking about the top 10 places that I would recommend that you sell your handmade products, no matter what they are, online. So let's learn together. The first handmade place that I would recommend selling your items online is Etsy. I feel like this is a place that everyone thinks of and knows of is Etsy. Etsy has also really upped their game recently for advertising on TV, websites, and many other places. The one bad thing about Etsy that a lot of people have talked about recently is they have upped their commission rates. So basically, what that means is they take a higher percentage of your sales. So that's something to definitely check into. They also charge you 20 cents for every time that your item sells or every few months when your item renews, even if it does not sell. So there is a little bit of an upfront cost. However, I'm just going to show you guys my shop real quick. I have really had good luck with Etsy. I will warn you, it does take a little while for it to take off. I remember setting up my Etsy shop and I did not have sales for months and I was so upset. But now I'm a star seller and I'm getting fairly consistent sales, even though I only have 119. Some of my items are a little bit higher priced, so it still seems pretty good for me. So, the nice thing about Etsy is you can organize your items into categories, which is awesome. You can also feature certain items. So, if there are items that would sell better because of the season, that's already pre organized for you. You can also have an Etsy Plus account, which can rotate this banner, give you more featured items, and give you some free listing fees every month. The negative side about Etsy Plus is that it does cost every month, but that's something that you could definitely consider. It does have a star seller rating or other types of things that could put you ahead of the curve, which I've gotten for the last few months, which has been really cool. The other thing that's really nice about Etsy is your reviews are displayed publicly, which I think has really helped my sales. But also, it gives you a chance for you to form this like profile of yourself. So I have a few photos and videos of what is going on. So it's basically like having my own website and having this feature without really having to deal with all of the website fees and the creation. I can talk a little bit about myself. I give a profile summary of me. I can link all of my other information. So Etsy, if you are just getting started, Etsy is absolutely a great place for you to get started, find your footing, and find what items sell best for you. The next place that you could consider selling your products online is your own website. Now, I do want to warn everyone, I have not really updated mine in a little while, so I need to do that. But there's so much customization that you can do with your website. I chose my colors. I chose that my logo would be here and this size. I chose a rotating banner. I chose all of these different tabs up at the top based on what was important to me. I chose what items would be features and what my collections would look like. This is the format I chose. I chose exactly how to organize everything and what to write here. So there's so much customization that can happen in your own website. Now, what do I use to create my own website? I use something called Shopify. Shopify is about $30 a month for the more basic plan. You can pay in chunks of a year, 2 years, or more to get discounts. So I typically pay 1 year at a time. And it does not come with your own website link like this. I have thor-designs.com. It will come with thordesigns.shopify.com. So you will actually have to pay for your domain name, but The customization of this is incredible. I can accept so many different payment forms. I can get people to sign up to my email address. I can link all of my social medias and things like that down there. I can put whatever I want to on a lot of these pages. People can contact me and it'll go right to my email. So having my own website has been such a game changer because this also helps to increase my revenue. Now, I can't speak to Wix, WordPress, Squarespace, any of those other types of ones. I've only ever had Shopify, but other ones could be better options, especially if you're just starting off. I know that Shopify, especially with that fee, can be intimidating. However, they typically do have a certain amount of time that you are able to try it out for free. The other thing that's nice about Shopify, because this is what is going on for me, is it displays your orders very nicely. It displays all of the products that you have, and it tells you how many are in stock if that's something that you would like. It can talk about your customers, your analytics, discounts. You can design your online store, which is one of the things that's really amazing for me, is you can see what it'll look like in different formats. You can have different themes, which is something that I've tried out different themes to see what works best for me. And the other thing that's really nice is this idea of apps. Apps on Shopify will allow you to do all different types of things, from lay out your website differently, to linking it to your Facebook, to allowing email marketing, to linking it to a shipping station, to having PayPal, to rewards and discounts. There's so many options, and a lot of these can be free. So Shopify, I love because it just has so many options. And so it's very flexible for whatever your handmade brand is selling. The other thing that I use with Shopify is I do a lot of craft shows. And so the point of sale, I was able to buy a card reader, and then it actually links up completely with my website. So it tracks everything through my website. I can actually say what items people purchase. Typically, I just put quick sale, and it accepts all different credit cards from that card reader. So I absolutely love this. I had a Square reader before and it caused me nothing but problems, but my Shopify reader is fantastic. So that's one of the other things I really love is the point of sale options. The next place you can sell your handmade items online is Faire. If you are interested in doing something for more wholesale, Faire is a great place to sell your items. If you're unsure of what wholesale is, basically think any time that a brand sells their product to Walmart or other places, that is wholesale. So, wholesale, typically you receive half of the retail price. So, for example, if Coca-Cola is selling their drink at Walmart for $2 each, they are probably getting $1 or a little bit less back in profit. So if you are interested in producing a lot more in bulk, this is a great idea for you to do. So let me show you a few of the brands that are showing up on Faire. So you can see there's a ton of different categories, and a lot of these are handmade brands. You can engrave tumblers, you can do candles, you can do embroidery, you can do woodwork, you can do signs. So there is a lot of different things that you could do if you want to do more of a wholesale category through Faire. So a lot of markets around the country and a lot of boutiques around the country could buy your items and then put them in their stores. Now, the next one is huge because everyone knows Amazon. Amazon has a special category called Amazon Handmade. You're not charged the monthly fees or nearly as much as the typical Amazon dealer because you are selling handmade items. The benefit of being on Amazon Handmade is you can actually show up in the regular search engine as well as the Amazon Handmade search engine. There's tons of things that people offer, typically not personalized items, but especially non-personalized items, and this can really take off. I know a few people that are seven-figure business owners, so they make at least $1 million or more in sales, and they do almost all of their business through Amazon Handmade. So there's so many things things that you can do through Amazon Handmade. So that could be a good market for you. If you are okay with Amazon holding your items and they take more of the profit from it as well, but look into Amazon FBA. They basically then can give you the little Prime tag and they hold your inventory in the warehouses. And so that way they can get it to the customers a lot quicker. So this is another great thing to look at if you're looking at a place to sell your items online. One of the next places that I would recommend is Facebook Marketplace. I got my start with Facebook Marketplace by trying to find some local customers and growing my following. I actually made lots of sales of personalized items and they picked it up right at my house through Facebook Marketplace. Now, that might not be to your comfort level, but there are a lot of things that you could potentially ship. There are a lot of things that you can make, and you could really stand out on a place like Facebook Marketplace because there's not nearly as much competition, because this is typically where people sell the things that they don't want anymore. You have a lot of audience viewing, but then you also don't have all of the same types of items showing up again and again, especially if you're focused on locally. But you can do some of these ships to you as well and get a much broader audience. You just have to look into the tax forms for that one. Another place to look for where to sell your items is Facebook groups. There are a lot of different Facebook groups. You could create your own for just your items and invite your friends, family, and other local followers. You could join a lot of these D-stash wholesale buy-in groups. You could join other custom groups, boutique groups. There's lots of different groups that you can join, and you can actually sell your items along the way. So that is a possibility for you to do, is to join these groups, because there's so many different things that you could potentially buy or sell in these groups that are really handmade. If you are looking to try to support somewhere that does a lot for the community and for charity, GoImagine is basically the charitable Etsy marketplace. It doesn't have nearly the following yet, but it is an amazing platform. I actually got a chance to meet the creators of GoImagine at one of my business conferences, and they are just such kind, caring people. And I really want to get on this platform as soon as I can because it is just such a cool idea. So you can see the percentage of revenue donated is 7.5%, and the profit donated, all of the profit is donated to charity, which is just so shocking for companies to do anymore. So this is a really great place for you to look at a lot of different categories that your items could potentially fit into, and a lot of things that you could potentially sell as well. So you can see a lot of handmade items showing up on here. The other thing that's nice about GoImagine is because it's a newer marketplace and because it doesn't quite have the reputation of Etsy yet, it will be a little bit less competitive for you. And you know that instead of your fees going to a corporation, it's going to charity, which I think makes it a little bit easier when you have the hefty fees to know that that's going to people that actually need it. One of the next places you could look at selling your items online is Jane. Jane offers various different sales that you could offer your items on, so like super sales, but it also is kind of like Faire, where your items would likely end up in in-person boutiques, potentially around the country, or online boutiques around the country. So they accept a lot of different fashiony items. So it seems like if you typically think of a more boutique apparel or boutique, what they would have in their stores, that's probably what would sell on Jane or Faire. Faire's a little bit more open than Jane, but even earrings, t-shirts, necklaces, even something like this could be something that you could sell. They are really big on supporting a lot of smaller businesses. And you can, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, talk a little bit about selling on Jane, becoming an affiliate, becoming an influencer, which I'll talk about a little bit later, or an ambassador. And this could be a really great opportunity for you because, again, this is not nearly as crowded as something like Faire, but it's more of the boutique audience. So if you sell purses and jewelry and other things like that, this could be a more appropriate channel for you to sell your items at. A lot of us have seen TikTok and Facebook Lives before with either Chinese sellers or MLMs, but this is something that you could potentially get your foot into as well. A lot of these sellers do it for a reason because it is profitable. And so having people comment that they want to buy a particular item, doing random sales. I've done it once or twice on Facebook Marketplace, and while it wasn't my most profitable thing, I did sell a few items. So if you have a big personality and you think going live would be a benefit to your personality or showing off your items in that way, that could be a great way to sell some of your items. The last ways that you could sell your products online is to be an affiliate or a partner or an ambassador for a product that you use or believe in. This could be someone else's handmade product, or it could be a product that you actually use to make your item. So, for example, I am an affiliate for both Glowforge and Eon. What that means is that if you use my link, I do get a reward from that. So I can get potentially up to $500 for a Glowforge referral, or I can get more money for an Eon referral, depending on the laser that you get. This is basically so they can keep their advertising costs down and pay the people that advertise for them, which I think is actually pretty cool that companies do this anymore, is they rely on social media channels and creators to advertise their product rather than paying for commercials and for Facebook ads and for other things like that. They actually have makers create organic content and make something for that. So you can actually make decent money from this. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm going to start a series on a lot of handmade video tips. So even if you're not a laser person, tune in or subscribe so that way you can hear a little bit more about craft shows, in-person sales, business tips, and other things like that. So keep lasering, keep making, whatever you do, and I'll see you next Monday.